Hello, I'm Michael Andrews with the ML Andrews firm. I wanted to thank you guys for tuning in. Some very valuable information that we need to know, and this really can go under the guidelines of compliance because we need to make sure that you are in the proper compliance. One of the things I'm going to talk about is the fact that even though we have various arms you can go up under, and I'll talk about whether that be a C Corp, S Corp, LLC, or a DBA, which is an assumed name certificate that is considered doing business as. But there are certain liabilities that go along with that, and I'm not here to give you legal advice on the liabilities that go along with that. But I will say this here, that whenever you file anything that has what is called a corporate veil of protection, that with that corporate veil of protection, you typically file those corporations perpetually. And that simply means that it continues to live on even beyond your lifespan. So with that, even though that it continues to live on, there are certain things that need to be done from a maintenance perspective every year, depending on when you filed your corporation. There are certain dates and obligations that need to be met versus a DBA doing business as. It also has certain dates, but it's not perpetual. So we want to talk about those. One is perpetual if we talk about the corporate structure of a LLC, whether we talk about a C Corp or a S Corp that has been designated by the Internal Revenue Service versus a DBA. Now, even though you as a corporate structure may be considered as a perpetual entity, your filings are not. Your filings are not. So you want to make sure it's in good standing, because guess what? They will check your records when you're talking about getting money, because they don't want to lend to any organization that is not in full compliance. That is not in full compliance. So therefore, you want to make sure those things are there. You want to make sure that if you have a franchise tax, depending on where you are, that's there. You want to make sure that if you are filing separate filings to get money for different offices in different locations, you also want to make sure that with that, if you are in one state as a domestic corporation, your home base, where you've organized it, and that's the corporate headquarters, that if you have other locations in another state, then you want to make sure, which is called a foreign corporation, that you have that properly in line. Now, of course, foreign doesn't mean a different country in this sense. It just means a different state from the original corporation in your base of operation. Now, with that being said, the DBAs are not perpetual. They typically last every 10 years. Then you need to go back and refile it, and I would advise you to keep the previous DBA in the years from when you originally started it and in that county. But you're limited also to only do business in that specific county. And with the DBA, of course, it doesn't have the corporate veil of protection. It basically leaves you somewhat exposed, and where you can literally be sued and they can come after your personal assets as well. So I advise people to talk with tax professionals, and always leave it to the professionals to be able to put what you need in place in a proper structure. Now, also, you need to make sure that the Comptroller's Office of Public Accounts in most states that you will see will have that. So if you're not in compliance, then the Comptroller's Office will have you out of compliance, and you won't be able to get that certificate, because with certain things in terms of business, they're going to ask you for those things. Now, let me talk about this here. We believe that you should be able to make money while you learn, and even for yourself, because business people know business people. And since business people know business people, then automatically you know other people that are in the same situation as you are, and why not be a help to them and then a help to your bank account at the same time. So let's talk a little bit about what we do. I do want to say that of course you can email me directly at mlandrews at mlandrewsfirm.com, FIRM, or you can call us at 877-283-7475 or 682-323 So let's talk a little bit about the benefits of what our business clients get. Now, I want to say that we're running a special for a 30% off discount for the business client who pays everything in full. We also do offer a payment plan. We offer a payment plan as well, and we even have a turnkey deal for everything that you need, and then you can pay it. So there's a lot of flexibility that's with that. But the first thing that you need to know that we're going to do on your behalf, we're going to do what's called a 20-point compliance checklist to meet the credibility standards. Everything has a standard. And so we want to be able to meet those credibility standards that are there for you. So off the bat, that's the first thing we're going to do. I call it boot camp. Is to get your business in shape. Is to get it ready for battle, the battle that is necessary so that you can win, because the more a leverage, you often hear me say that in all my videos, the more leverage you have, the more capital you have, the more credit you have, and all of those work together, then guess what? The stronger your opportunity is on that. So let's see if we can go through all of those checklists, and I want to make sure that I've got enough time still left. Is that correct, camera person? All right. So 20-point compliance checklist to meet your credibility standard. There is also a listing that needs to be set up. In other words, businesses are going to look for you in certain places. It's just like the credit bureau. If they want to look for you, then they're going to choose probably one of the big three, even though there are many of them. They're probably going to choose one of the big three: personal credit, Experian, Equifax, or TransUnion. Well, with business credit, the largest business credit system in the world we have is Dun & Bradstreet, hands down. But when it comes to discovering who you are, when you don't have the strong profile, a strong paydex score that's there, then you have to understand they look special places for that. And we want to make sure that when they look, that there's a representation of you saying, hello, I am here. I'm a real business. So we want to do that. And you could be a real business and not be set up and still be declined. They want you to look a certain way, just like there are dress codes on a job and everything else. They want you to look a certain way. So business setup. Then, of course, you need to not use your personal social security number. That is for, that first of all, was never intended for credit. If you would do an etymological study and do the research, it was not intended for credit, but we use it for personal credit now. It has become the norm. But you should not ever use that for business credit or cross those two together. So now you're putting up two different credits for one, that if one becomes messed up, so does the other. So it becomes the EIN number that's there. And let me read through this here. I think I have 2 minutes that's left. Business name and address approval criteria checklist, business bank account approval checklist, help with merchants account setup. We fix inaccuracies on your business credit report, because sometimes that happens and it needs to be cleaned up. Business credit report and score training. We want to train you that you know what to expect. Setting up your initial business credit report. Experian Smart Business Access, where we go and verify things to give you information. Starter for vendors to build initial business credit. Store business credit source with underwriting guidelines. Very, very important. Cash credit source, including Visa and MasterCard. 12 months of business credit advising service. Finance qualifier to show you how you're going to qualify. Access to funding programs and lenders, very important. SBA, alternative SBA, and private lender program access. Cash flow financing and merchant advance, which will help you get money now. Lenders program access. Collateral and asset-based lending program. It means not looking at your credit, even business. Funding program cheat sheet that you need, and funding cheat sheet and underwriting guidelines. Look, hit us up. Email me, mlandrews@themlandrewsfirm, or you can turn around and go to our website, www.mlandrewsfirm.com, or call us toll free 877-283-7475 or 682-323-0013. Look, thank you. Please tune in. We've got more information and more videos to come. Tell someone else as well. Thanks so much.